ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Let's do it together. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम राम हरे हरे। Give me the bag. So hold on. That's okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So today we thought that we'll be discussing some beautiful topic, something from Srimad Bhagavatam. That's a 8th canto. Most of you might be knowing this story. There's nothing new about it. But the essence of the story is very deep. The purport of the story is very deep. So we'll try to contemplate, we'll try to think about it, how we can really apply these principles in our life from this very simple story. Because in Srimad Bhagavatam, this book, Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, this is of 12 cantos. And in this 12 canto, there is around 18,000 verses are there. And around 335 chapters are there. Around 90 chapters are there, which are most related to pastimes of Krishna. or Krishna's devotees, which are there in the 10th canto. But before going to 10th canto, the first to ninth canto, it really talks about various creations of the Supreme Lord and about various devotees of the Supreme Lord, through which we can really understand how great the Lord is and how sweet our Lord is. And this Srimad Bhagavatam, this is not different than Krishna. Somebody says, oh, it really talks about Krishna, but this book itself is also Krishna. Because this book is also composed by incarnation of Krishna, which is Vyasadeva. Krishna tulya bhagavata vibhu sarvasraya proti sloke prati akshare nanarthakaya. It is mentioned Krishna tulya bhagavatam. This Bhagavatam is Krishna. And Vibhu Sarvasraya, just like Lord is so great and He gives shelter to everybody, this Bhagavatam, just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, just by listening to this pastimes, what is there narrated in Bhagavatam, it will also give us a shelter. Because whenever we hear about how Prahlad was given shelter by Lord Nrsimhadev, how Dhruva Maharaj was given shelter by Lord Vishnu, or we hear that how just a couple of weeks back we heard about Govardhan Leela, how all the Brajavasis, they were given shelter by Lord Krishna under the Govardhan hill. Similarly, once you take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes, the instructions, the lessons from this book can also give us a shelter, through which we feel so much secured, so much of safe. Just like it is considered, the sanctuaries are there, bird sanctuary, there is a deer sanctuary. What happens there? So all the animals are protected there. Similarly, whenever we are in the lotus feet of Lord, once we are taking shelter of the Lord, we are protected. So yes, there could be so many challenges, so many obstacles that might come in our life. But then, we really get an umbrella. Yes, the beautiful de-stressing mechanism everybody wants to hear. What is that? How do we can de-stress ourselves? How can you get rid of stress? Whatever really coming out of all the distresses, whether small or big in our life. And that can be done once you take shelter of the Lord. And that is given by none other than Narad Muni to Vyasadeva. All of us know who compiled all the Puranas. Who compiled it? Vyasadeva compiled it. And at one point of time when Vyasadeva, he was feeling so loneliness, sometimes depressed. So it's very normal. Like sometimes people say, oh, why I'm feeling so distressed? Why I'm feeling so isolated? It's normal. It's normal. But then, once we are in that condition, right, we have to follow our acharyas, what they did during that point of time. So yes, even the distraction of mind is also very normal. But then what do we do at that point of time? Yes. So Vyasadeva, he took shelter of Narad Muni, his spiritual master. And Narad Muni, he gave this medicine. Oh Vyasadeva, yes, you have written all the scriptures. You have given everything to all the mankind. How they will do, how will take shelter of this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, so that they will get, some piety, some wealth, some desires will get fulfilled. Even they will go to the higher planets. But still you saw that, you have written it, but still you are not successful, you are not peaceful, you are not blissful. Why? Because you have not really taken shelter of the Supreme Lord. Because you have not glorified enough the Supreme Lord. Yes, because at that point of time, even he had written Even Mahabharata also, he had written all the Puranas at that point of time. But Lord wants at certain point of time we completely surrender to the Lord. That's why Narad Muni is saying, Etadhiyatura chittanam matra sparsha ichchaya muhu bhava sindhu plava drishta haricharya anuvarnanam. So yes, everybody is suffering so much. Atura chittanam, they are suffering so much. That's Narad Muni saying to Vyasadeva. Because matra sparsha ichchaya muhu, because they wanted to satisfy their senses through different sense objects. Oh, I want to see something beautiful. I want to eat something tasty. I want to hear something very melodious. And the problem is that our senses are limited and our desires are unlimited. And whatever is really available in this world also are tiny. There is so much of competition for that. So, in that condition, what can really satisfy us? What can really fill our vacuum that is there in our heart? Haricharya Anuvarnanam. Once we take shelter of the Hari Katha, once we take shelter of the pastimes of the Lord. So, this is a pastime of a king who had gone for a vacation. Like especially we also want to go for a vacation close to the nature. Of course, our vacation that we did 2 weeks back, also was close to the nature. Right? But our vacation was different. But here in this king, as usual, like he went with all his family members and got completely intoxicated. And as he was really walking, right, and that place, the earth was kind of thundering, with that weight of that king, and not only the bodily weight, but also his majestic, features, right? And this is the place called Trikuta Mountain was there. This mountains having 3 peaks: gold, silver, and iron. And there's a beautiful garden with beautiful flowers, a wonderful stream of water flowing, and a place called Milk Ocean, right? And yes, this is what exactly, we think that, oh, this is a paradise, right? We also trying to create our own paradise by staying in a place called Parimal Paradise or Anmol Paradise. We create our own paradise. But of course, Lord is saying that we cannot create a paradise, right, in this earth, because this earth is called, yes, it's place of misery, dukhalaya masa, it's anityam asukham. We cannot get a permanent paradise here in this place. But Lord is saying we can go to paradise. We can go to paradise. That's what Lord is saying. Yes. Abrahma bhumana loka punaravartina arjuna. Mamupati punartam asasatam. Right? Like asasatam. We can really go to that asasatam. We can really go to that eternal place. Where every step is a dance, every word is a song. That's a beautiful place. But here is this king, he was really having a gala time with his family members. And do you know who was that king? Yes, the royal king. Who was that? Indra, Gajendra, was the king of the elephants. In that garden, he was really having a gala time. That's why it's called Gajendra. Gaja means elephant, Indra means the king. So he was playing with his family members, showering water on them, right? Having loving exchanges with them, right? And suddenly, what happened? Yes, everybody knows the story, right? Suddenly, a crocodile came, right? So you are having so wonderful time, and suddenly something really comes up, right? Then somebody might ask, why are you really talking about this crocodile and elephant story we have heard in our, kindergarten days? Yes, all of us know. Or if you go to, especially in South India, some of the temples also, they really showcase this pastime. But what do you really learn from this story? What do you learn from this story? Any thoughts? What can we really learn from this story? Huh? Sorry? Ah, very good. Anything can happen at any time. So you might be thinking that, oh, this is such a beautiful time. Oh, beautiful weather. I have so beautiful family members. And suddenly, right, some tiny virus, what is called corona, comes up, and then everything gets tossed up. Or forget about, okay, somebody may, oh, now we are free from corona, right? But then still, just a mosquito comes up, right? Or uh, that mosquito can be also in the form of a boss, or in form of some in-laws, or in the form of a spouse, in the form of a neighbor, right? Or in the form of weather, or in terms of some radical beings that we see in our neighboring countries, or it could be some accident, or it could be some or bodily disease. Suddenly somebody come across with a disease like cancer. But do we realize that? Yes, Gajendra, when he came across a crocodile, he was there, oh, what is this small animal? Is this my size? What is my size? And it's a crocodile, just not even half of my trunk. What can he do? And that's what he was thinking. And he was just trying hard to get rid of it. But he didn't realize the quantum of the danger that is really awaiting for him. Just like one time, like one saint, right? Like, he was standing on a rock in this Prayag. And as he was standing, then he realized that there is a vulture, right? Just flying around his head. The saint was thinking that, oh, is that vulture is really looking towards me, because I have become really very austere, very thin. Maybe he's looking towards me, right? Instead of meditating, he started kind of thinking about the vulture. And this vulture was coming down and down and down, and suddenly went into the water and grabbed a fish. Right? And then he started flying again. Right? And what? And this fish, he was having once again his, like usually we don't, fish also having their gender. So either his or her. And he was also playing with his friends, with family members. And then suddenly, this claw of this vulture came and took it away. So can anybody say that, I am really having my time, right? This claw of vulture is not really looking upon me, right? It's constantly thinking, right? Especially in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned in the second chapter. There's a very beautiful verse. This is a Canto 8, second chapter, same Gajendra pastime. You see, Yakaschane sabalinantako gorat प्रचंड वेगादधिधावतो वृषाम भितं प्रपन्नं परिपाति यद्भयान् मृत्यु प्रधावति अरणं तमीमहि. Yes, Gajendra is kind of started thinking that, oh, yakaschana sa valinantakaragat, right? How this mrityu is just like coming with so much of force, prachanda vegat, with so much of force. Can anybody stop the time? We'll say that, oh, I don't want to, especially during the old days, as we are getting older and older. We think that, oh, let the time stop, let me enjoy more youth, energetic time. Right? Can anyone stop? Oh, because in the old days we know that how it is so much suffering, so many diseases, and not able to walk because so much of pain in the back, in the leg, in the head, everywhere. And I wanted to stop the time so that we can have we can really enjoy. Right? But then, yes, this mrityu, this death is coming so fast, right? And is it that somebody can really say that, okay, I have so much connection to the best of the doctors, I have connection to the best of the wealthy persons, I have so much of wealth, can I stop that? Right? But are we really prepared for what is really coming upon us? Yes, these dangers that might come, you know, really in any ways. Some time back we talked about it. This material world is called pavarga. You remember what is pavarga? Pa pha ba bha ma. What is the meaning of pa pha ba bha ma? Parisram, pena, bha for bhaya, bha, pa pha ba means bandhan, bha means bhaya, and ma means mrityu. Yes, right. So everybody is working so hard, like dogs and asses, and however you work, even 70 hours a week or 92 hours a week, boss or the family members are not at all satisfied, right? And in that way, we get the sweat and blood, the fena that is really always coming out of us. And then we are bound by bandhana. The more we try to come out of, right, uh, this all the entanglement of this papa and punya, we are getting more and more entangled. This bandhan, we are getting entangled. And then every step there is a fear. If we have something, we get fearful that, oh, whether it will be taken away. Or if you don't have anything, then you are thinking that, oh, what will happen to my future? What will happen to my career? What will happen to my children? Or what will happen to my body? There is so much of fear at every step. And the greatest fear that all of us have is what? The mrityu. Like, of course, nowadays the greatest fear everybody is having that, whether I will have the job next day. Just last week only, right? One of our dear friend, he called that, Prabhuji, like somehow today morning, I was called by my HR and I said that today is my last day. Right? Not today, just this hour you have to submit your laptop and you have to go back home. This is what happening. We're thinking that, oh, this happens in US only. But yes. Right? And this boy was saying that, I put so much of effort. I have been really working day and night, literally, because I was supporting US client, I was supporting this and that. And suddenly I was asked to leave. I have invested so much of time and energy there. I have made so many good friends there. And I was completely devastated at that point of time. Right? And then you can realize the whole life we are investing in so many, called relationship, in big house, big cars, and so many things. And one day we'll say, just, leave everything and go to some place where you don't know. Right? What will be that condition? Right? Or especially in Bangalore, if somebody is staying in rent, right? You're kind of staying in rent for some place, right? And then and you put some effort in polishing, getting all the appropriate furnitures, and the landlord says, somehow I have some need, you just vacate this house immediately. Right? It's so painful. Right? So similarly, this mrityu is considered, it is so painful that it is like biting of 40,000 scorpions at one time. So of course we have not. Anybody have been bitten by scorpion? No, right? Thankfully not. Oh, you? Is it? It must be painful, right? Really painful, right? Yes. And our scriptures talk about it's like mrityu. It's not about the physical pain, the mental anxiety somebody really goes through, right? Right, and yes, these are the four real problems: janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, or the problems that might be caused by the natural conditions, or other living entities, or our body and mind, and nobody can really escape out of it. And but all our life we are just kind of spending in really collecting so much of honey, right, and creating a beautiful honeybee structure. And one fine day, the farmer comes and it really burns everything and he takes away all the honey that we have collected. Right? You know? Uh, some might be thinking, oh, it will not happen to me. आश्चर्य एताधिमनुष्य लोके सुधाम परित्यज्य विषम पिबन्ति. And of course, there's one more story, one more verse also. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti hi amalayam sesa sthavaram ichanti kim ascharya ataparam. You might have heard in Mahabharata there is a discussion between Yaksha and Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Yaksha asked, tell me what is the most surprising thing in this world? What was the answer by Yudhishthir Maharaj? He said that I see that all the people, they are relatives, they are predecessors, they have already left or they are leaving, but that person is thinking that I will stay here for forever. And I want to take care of everything. I'm really so much of worried, right? Because see, once again, we can just note it down. What are the anxiety that comes to our mind, right? Whatever the anxiety comes to our mind, you just write it down, and then you go to the next day or maybe next after 1 year. How much this anxiety or these worries or the problems are really important or for the next year? Those are all unnecessary worries that we have in our head. Hardly it matters, but we think so much about it. Oh, what will my boss say? So what will my children do? What will happen? So much of unnecessary thoughts that comes to our mind, right? We always kind of give this example as well, right? Like a child with the parents, right? And his parents, they are waiting in a platform station, and the parents are saying that, oh, there is so much of chaos because some people are going here and there. Parents are waiting when the train will come and so on. But you see the child, how peacefully he is sleeping on the lap of the parents and not worried about anything. Why? Because he has taken shelter of the parents, right? So yes, right. Or like if we have two kids, Usually a couple of years back, whenever we used to go to the airport, and I have a elder son and a younger daughter, right? So once my son grew up, he started going around. Papa, I'll do check-in, I'll do the security. He'll go on his own. But then when my daughter was young, she was saying, Papa, you come. So completely, she didn't have to think about, right? That okay, where I have to go, where I have to do the check-in, where I have to kind of go to the security, all that. She was saying, wherever Papa will go, I'll just follow him. Right? So like yes, it's not a problem to really grow up, but then once we feel ourselves independent of the wish of the parents, then the problem starts. Right? Yes, parents like our kids to really grow up to take responsibilities. Right? Similarly, right, as we grow ourselves, not only through the age, right, like getting 40 years or 50 years, now 60 years, but how do you take responsibility of ourselves, not only of our body, but also of our spiritual life? That is really important. Because otherwise, our spiritual masters, our well-wishers think that, oh, he has remained a kid only, right? At the same time, arrogant kid, disobedient kid, right? We have to really grow up, right? We have to take responsibility. At the same time, right? Understand the wish of the parents. Understand, what can really please the parents, right? Or what can really please our well-wishers, the spiritual masters, right? And the most important things all the parents are worried about their children is that, oh, you see how he or she is wasting so much of time. Isn't it? Right? Like especially if there is an exam, right? Next week, like my daughter is having next week, there's some pre-board exam, and if I see her like just going around or or just maybe playing with some devices and things like that. What I will think? Oh, you're wasting your time. You know? So we know that exam is there next week, and if you just waste your time, what is it? Oh, what is the kind of stupid child? Right? This is our Acharya is also thinking. Oh, do you know when exactly your final exam coming? When is your final? At least we know that for kids, right? They have next week their exam. Can anybody say that? No. My final exam. Final exam means death. Yeah. Only come after 1 year or after 10 years. Anybody can say that? No. Any moment can happen. Right? One time, one of our Acharya, his name is Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's disciple. He's a scientist, disciple of our Srila Prabhupada. He was giving class like this. He was saying that how life is so uncertain. And at that point of time, a bird, started kind of flying, and the fan was rotating, and it hit that fan, right? And at that moment, it really collapsed. And then Maharaj said, "You see, just to prove the word, the bird sacrificed his life." Right? Yes, we don't understand, but we hear the news also, everywhere. Oh, this accident happened, that really happened. But we always think that this will not happen to me. Right? And we keep on wasting our time. We keep on, wasting our time. Because most of the times when I tell my kids that why are you wasting your time, I think of myself. What my spiritual master or what my well-wisher would be thinking about me. Am I really also doing, utilizing my time properly? Or they are constantly reminding me, right? Last time also we recited this. Wasted time is the greatest crime. Yes, it's not only about memorizing it, but realizing in our life. That how each moment I am really using it. Right? Or each of the money that I have. Right? Like we have two energy. Right? We talked about. One is really the money, another is the time. If you have some money, do you want to just keep it as it is? No, we want to post in some mutual funds or some equities or some maybe real estate so that it can really go bigger, isn't it? Right? And similarly, right? Or if you have a time, want to really ensure that you use the time, we invest in the time properly so that you get better returns out of it, right? Or would you like to invest in somewhere which some stock which will go really bankrupt? No, right? But most of the times that's what we are doing. We are investing in we are misutilizing our time where we get zero return or negative returns. Yes, as we are really fighting our battle, right? We are thinking that as we are discussing, so many soldiers are there, so many buddies are there. They will come and help us. But yes, during our need, yes, we are all alone. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, like whenever there is a danger, how do you really, this is what we discussed in our, who is pulling my string? Hope you remember this slide. And we talked about that. Whenever there is a danger, right? Some people, they really get so much of distressed, panicked, and they overestimate the capacity of the enemy. And so it's not possible for me. I commit suicide. I commit so many, horrible activities. Right? But then some people, they just deny. Oh, nothing is going to happen. Oh, COVID, it is just a hoax. Oh, right, who is talking about death? Death is not coming to me. Oh, there is, there is so much of economic chaos. Oh, nothing will happen to my company or my stock or whatever it is. I completely deny the reality. I don't accept it, the reality. But then another kind of person who understands that, okay, yes, this is the strength of the enemy, right? And this is my strength. How can I really appropriately fight? right? Not really overestimate the capacity of the enemy or not underestimate the capacity of the enemy. I accurately estimate the capacity, and at the same time I understand, do I have the capacity or no? If I don't have, from whom I can borrow the strength so that I can fight it out. If I don't have it, I can borrow the strength from someone through which I can fight it out. And next one is that yes, I understand I don't have it, and the supreme strength, the supreme power is only with the Supreme Lord, right? Because if I'm really drowning, right, another drowning person cannot save me. If I'm drowning, somebody who is beyond, right, who is having a beautiful boat, right, he can really save me. I always give this example, right? I think at around 5 years back or so, we had gone to a like a office, like off-site, and it was in the Kavini Reservoir, right? And with our colleagues and all of us, we wanted to go for the adventures and boating and so on. And me and myself, one more colleague was there, and then a couple of colleagues, they were also boating. And suddenly, one boat really toppled. Really toppled, but of course they had the jackets and things like that. So they were just kind of holding on to that, uh, and then another boat, they went, to really catch hold of them, and so that they can really bring onto their boat. And while saving them, that boat also got toppled. And the third boat was really going, but they got scared. No, no, we don't want to do it. And then suddenly we called the emergency, or the kind of, the guys who are there, the safeguards were there, and they went with the steamboat. Right, when they went the steamboat, they really kind of took care of all the four guys there. Right. So as we are trying to save others, we need to really understand what is our strength. Right, right. Otherwise, what happens? All of us know this pastime of Dasarath and Kaikeyi. Dasarath went to pacify Kaikeyi, and he became the victim. Right? Right? Mm. But then, we need to really understand, what is my strength. That's why they say in the flight, right? First, you put your oxygen mask on yourself, then you put it on others. So yes, first we have to nourish ourselves, then only we can take care of others. And how we can nourish ourselves? It's not about just food, but our spiritual strength, that we can really get it in ourselves. So yes, we talked about, these are the three modes that we talked about. Some people, they are in the mode of tamasic or rajasic, or in sattva, or in the suddha sattva, who are devotees, who are completely devoted to the Lord, who really understand the strength of the enemy, and also they understand, okay, I can do something, at the same time I need to really depend on the supreme power, the supreme strength. Yes, that's what Gajendra did after realizing, right, that yes, it's not beyond my capacity. And he realized it after 10,000 years. Yes, because most of the times we don't accept the reality. We think that, oh, nothing will happen to me. Or sometimes, even if we accept the reality, we think that, oh, I can fight it out in the next moment, I can solve it. Or and sometimes we think that, oh, I have something, some near and dear ones, they will help me. But do you know what happened? Gajendra, he was trying his best, right? And he realized, and he got, not only he was in so much physical pain, but also completely humiliated. Because in front of whom he was showing his majesty, all his family members, all the kingdom, right? All the were there in the forest, right? In front of them, he got completely humiliated. You see what kind of pain he would be going through. Right? कोई आपने वाइफ के आगे हमको बेइज्जत करे, कैसे लगेगा? Right? And he was really showing his majesty for so many years. Right? And then he was completely humiliated. So physically, mentally, everywhere, he was completely devastated. At that point of time, he said, okay, now I have to take shelter of the Lord. And what he did, just picked up a flower and he just offered it to the Lord. Right? But then, sometimes we might be also thinking that, oh, whenever I'm in a need, I also break a coconut for Balaji. Right? Oh, I also do some puja. Right? But then, what is our consciousness? What is our consciousness? Or sometimes, oh, we have also started chanting our rounds. हम भी थोड़ा सा भागवत गीता भागवतम पढ़ते हैं. But how you are taking that shelter of their Lord, the Lordships? Yes, that is the difference. With our body, mind, and words. Not only through the tongue, not only through the hand, that oh, we just chant or we just offer something, but from our heart we really cry out, oh Lord, there is no one. Especially in our sampradaya, there are two important principles. It's called akinchanatvam and ananyatvam. These are the two important characteristics of saranagati or surrender. Akinchanatvam means I don't have anything, or I don't have anyone, right, who can really give us me shelter. Ananyatam. Ananyatam means yes, nobody else apart from you who can save me. And akinchanatvam means akinchan. Kinchan means you have something. Akinchan means you don't have anything. You are completely pauper. Right? At that point of time, he really he really chanted the Lord with his full heart, just praying for the Lord. Right? So that's why once you are talking about chanting of the names of the Lord, we don't just chant through the lips. Right? Yes, during our this one-day retreat, we talked about yes, the posture is important. What are the three P's we talked about? Posture, pronunciation. Remember? Anybody remembers what is the third one? Yes, this is a pronunciation, and you hear attentively. And the posture we said yes, we should sit properly. So because the external also matters a lot, or the environment also matters a lot. And third P that we talked about. Anybody remembers? How many of you are there in the yatra? Yes, yes. Third P. Anybody remembers? Yes, how our mind is so short memory. That's a very important one. What is that? Prayer. Prayer. Right? That's where, right? Not only our external body, right? We really just take this holy name for chanting, right? Or sit in front of the Lord, right? Or even our tongue or with our lip, we take the name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes, we are engaging our, senses, of this, tongue, lips, and also our ear, and chanting and hearing. But during that point of time, it should come from the heart, right? That is a prayer. Right? Yes, that third P is also very important. Right? That's what Gajendra did. Right? We have to realize it. And it's not just just it should come from the lips, but it should come from the heart. And yes, this is what the prayer that all our acharyas are saying. Whenever there is a danger, we should really call out the Lord from our heart. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvam Ekadaihamanana Apavargasi Samsrute. So why we raise our hand? Yes, surrender. And at the same time, right? Oh Lord, I don't have anything except you. Right? Like this is the posture of Draupadi. Now she was trying on her own uh, for so much time, but then said, "Oh Lord, I cannot do on my own. Right now, it's I am yours." Right? That connection is important. That belongingness is important, right? And it has to come from the heart, right? That because you can only give that abhayankara. You can only give the abhaya. Bhaja hure mana Srinanda Nandana. Abhaya charanara vindare. Because his charana is abhaya charana. And that's why it is abhaya charana Srila Prabhupada. Tvameka dahyamana na apavarga. We heard about pavarga, right? Just a moment back. And now, it's called apavarga. Yes, he can really deliver us and really take us to the supreme world. Yes. There's a very beautiful prayers of the Gajendra. Maybe we can discuss sometime in detail. And what Gajendra is praying? He's praying. Please chant these are beautiful prayers of Gajendra. Namo namaste akhila karanaya niskaranaaya adbhuta karanaya sarvagamamnaya maharnavaya namo pavargaya parayanaya. So Gajendra is praying, Namo namaste akhila karanaya. You are cause of all causes. Akhila means everything. You are the cause of all causes. Sometimes we think that, I am the cause of this beautiful property that I have, or I am the cause of, this beautiful body that I have, right? Or the beautiful position that I have in my company. Because I am working hard, so I am getting so much money. But if you really, double click, you find the root cause. Then you find that, Lord is the one who is really showering His mercy and the blessings upon all of us. Niskaranaya. There is no other cause. Adbhuta karana. You are the wonderful cause. Sarva agama amnaya. You have compiled all the Vedic scriptures. You are the source of everything. Maharnavaya. You are the ocean of mercy. Oh Lord, I am really taking shelter of you. There's another very beautiful verse. Madru prapanna pasupasa vimokshanaya. Once again, maybe I'll tell the verse, then you can chant nicely. So this verse is saying that Gajendra is praying. I'm just like an animal. I'm an animal, right? I'm really bound by all my senses, by all the different modes. And muktaya, but as we are saying, right? Because we are bound, to unbound us, we need somebody who is unbound, right? Oh Lord, you can deliver me. You can really unbound me because you are muktaya. And you are bhuri karunaya. Bhuri karunaya means not only you have the capability, but also you are compassionate. You are karunaya, bhuri karunaya. You are so much compassionate. You remember how compassionate you are? Yes, when Putana came, just to acting as a mother, right? Even though to give poison, but you still delivered her. That much of compassion you are, right? If somebody says something to us, we kind of really make enemy with for entire lifetime. But here, Putana is coming to kill Krishna, but because she came as a mother, Lord delivered her. Lord recognizes the lowest qualification and gives the highest benediction. This is the quality of the Lord, right? The contrast you see, we see kind of what is the kind of the little fault he have, and we kind of exaggerate it, right? वो बोलते ना क्या है? Yes, from a mustard to mountain. We always focus on what the demerit some person is having, right? But what the Lord does, He just really kind of magnifies even a little that we have, right? Yeah, that's what it is. It's a bhuri karunaya. and Namo Alayaya. So not only he has a capability, he's compassionate, and he knows that because somebody, right, might have capacity. Like if I go to somebody, he might have so much of wealth. If I need of wealth, right, you know, maybe he might not be, so much of compassionate. He might not be charitable. Or okay, he has so much wealth, he's charitable, but he does not know what exactly is the charity that I'm really looking for. Right? But Lord, He's not only capable, He's compassionate, and He's also cognizant. And He knows what is really good, what I'm really looking for. Right? Sometimes the child is crying, mother kind of gives milk, take it, take it. Well, there must be another mosquito would have really bitten. Right? What the mother will know? What is the pain the child is going through, or maybe something, some problem in the stomach. Right? A mother might not still, though mother's love is so loving, so compassionate, but still mother doesn't know. But Lord is not like that. Lord is there in everybody's heart. He is really, looking for, oh, how can I really help my child? It's called Namo Alaya. He came running, to take care of Gajendra. Because Swamsena Sarbatanubhrun Manasi Pratita, because he's there in everybody's heart. Sarbatanubhrun, he's there in everybody's heart. Pratyagdrase Bhagavate Bruhate Namaste. To that Supreme Lord, I am offering my obeisances. Now you understand how Lord is so great, so beautiful, so capable, so compassionate, and so cognizant about what we are really going through. Understanding that, now we are taking shelter. So now let's pray to the Lord from our heart. Madrug prapanna pasupasa vimokshanaya मुक्ताय भूरि करुणाय नमालयाय स्वंसेन सर्वतनुवृन् मनसि प्रतीता प्रत्यग्दृशे भगवते बृहते नमस्ते. Yes, these are the three wonderful qualities of a shelter giver, right? Yes, capable, compassionate, and cognizant. So yes, if you think that we are taking care of someone, or if you are really taking care as a father or as a leader of an organization, of a community, right, or as a parent, right? Yes, we should have and these qualities. Or if you don't have it, we should really borrow it from the Supreme Lord who is having it. Right? Yes, this is the mood that a devotee recognizes of the Supreme Lord. Yes, this Draupadi recognized it. Right? And this is all about the bhakti, to recognize the potency of the Lord and to take shelter of the Lord. And how do you take shelter of the Lord? Yes, there are these 9 limbs of bhakti are there. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpito Vishnu Bhakti Chenavalakshana Kriyate Bhagavati Adha Tanmanne Adhitamuttamam. There are 9 limbs of devotional service or bhakti that we can do to the Supreme Lord. What are they? First is Sravanam. What is Sravanam means? Hearing. Submissive oral reception. We have to hear, with patience from our heart. And Kirtanam, we chant the name of the Lord. We glorify the Lord. And Vishnu Smaranam, we always remember the qualities of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord. Pada Sevanam, we serve the Lord by going to the holy places, by serving the devotees of the Lord. Archanam, we do the worship of the Lord. Bandhanam, we offer prayers to the Lord. Dasyam, we act in menial ways, to serve the Lord and his devotees. Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. These are different higher levels where like Arjuna was serving the Lord as in the mood of friendship. Or Atma Nivedanam, like the Bali Maharaj or Ambrish Maharaj. There are so many devotees who have dedicated their body, mind and soul. Manasa deho geho jo kichu mo arpilu tava pade Nanda Kishore. The devotee, he offers, oh, whatever I have, it's all yours. And all these things, you have to do it for what? For the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Not that just to showcase others. You see how beautiful, I'm doing the deity worship. Oh, how beautifully, I'm serving the Lord, offering prayers to the Lord, I'm chanting these names. No, not to showcase ourselves that, oh, how great I am. But iti pumsan bhakti chen navaraha. This all to be done for pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. So that how it will please the Lord. Yes, and all of us know that. If you just do a little bit, who was this pastime? The Draupadi offered a little bit of rice from that Akshay Patra, right? Or in this second pastime, what do you hear? How that Sabari, he just offered a little bit of uh, that fruit, that yes, Lord is not asking for so many things. He's just asking that, yes, please offer it with love. Either patram, puspam, pholam, toyam. Like one time, one small kid, he was with the parent, and he came in front of, one of the sannyasi, and the small child, he was always seeing that, parents always they are, so much of submissive to their spiritual master. They are offering as a present or as a gift to their spiritual master. And this child also was thinking, what should I really give it to my spiritual master? He had a beautiful toy, and he offered it to that sannyasi. And then the sannyasi is saying, yes, we had heard of patram, puspam, pholam, toyam, and nowadays it's also toyam. Toyam. Right? So whatever we have, but the sannyasi recognized, then it is really coming with the love. He understood the mood that yes, whatever we have to do it, we have to offer it, for the superiors, for our spiritual master. Okay. Any questions, comments so far? Okay, we will not go to the detail of this other pastimes, but any questions, comments? Any thoughts so far? Any questions, comments? Yeah. So as we were, discussing in the beginning, that how Vyasadeva also felt, at one point in time morose, distressed, isolated, and even we talked about the nature of the mind is also it's a pramati valavad drudham, always, the nature of the mind. There are three characteristics of mind. What are three characteristics? One is like that. It is just like a wild bull, especially in the West, you have seen that wild bull, and they try to get on top of it, right? It's very strong, very strong. Nobody can really, get hold of, control their bull, right? Or it is also compared to that intoxicated monkey, right? Monkeys are so mischievous, and now if you really intoxicate that monkey, what will the condition? And also another example is given, this mind is also like, the dog's tail. Dog's tail, right? It's always bend, right? However you try, right? You put, that into, right, into a pipe for maybe days, weeks, and months. It will always remain like that, right? This is the nature of the mind. But at the same time, Lord acknowledged it that yes, Arjuna, it is very difficult to control this mind. I know, because Lord, like Arjuna said that I can control the raising wind. Even the US Army could not do it. Even recently they had this, some tornado and some cyclone, right? Everybody fled. Everybody kind of, went away from Florida and some other place, and so many people died there also. But Arjuna is saying, I can control the wind, I can control the cyclone and the typhoon and everything, whatever come, but I cannot control the mind. And Krishna acknowledged it. Yes, that is true. It is very difficult to control the mind. But it is possible through, what? Yes. Abhyasena to vairagya. Practice and vairagya. Yes. If you are, always, chanting with, let's say, with a mobile, right? Always the notification one by another, it will come, right? So, like, or let's say you are just kind of, sitting with, uh, let's say, delicious, I don't know what is called, rasmalai, right? And then you'll say, don't eat, huh? You are hungry. You really like that rasmalai. That's your favorite dish, right? Somebody keeps it. Can you just, keep it within yourself that I will not eat it, right? Yes, we have to ensure that, like you remember our Chaitanya Charan Prabhu who was there last time, he talked about it, right? Yes, right? Yes, we need to really put that effort, sincerely, and we have to keep all these objects which really distracts us little away from us, right? Away from us as much as possible, right? And then we have to really get closer to someone who can really help us in getting closer to Krishna. Right? What are those objects? You are sitting in front of the Tulasi. We are sitting in front of the spiritual master. We are sitting in along with the devotees. We are reciting the glories of the Lord. We are hearing more and more how Gajendra took shelter of the Lord. We are hearing about the beautiful pastimes of our acharyas. How, in spite of going through so many challenges, they really took shelter of the Lord. Right? There is this. You see, there is while I was in Germany, at that point of time, I met one Prabhupada disciple. He's still there. His name is Prithu Prabhu. Right? Somehow he was going around, and then somebody came across, and he offered a book to him, and that book was Isopanishad. And he was offered this book. So I said, okay, let me take it. And he took it to his house, and he was kind of, completely dejected. At that point in time, he said, okay, I got something. Let's me kind of see what is there in that book. And somehow he got so much of interested, and he could not stop that book. And the next day morning, he thought that, oh, I have now enough. Now let me find out where are these devotees who are distributing this book. And next day he went to the temple and he said, please let me know what can I do for you. And how can I really serve? How can I really connect to the Lord that you are talking about? This is the urgency. Right? Another point of same devotee, what he did, after getting so much convinced about the potency of the Lord, about the holy name of the Lord, about the books of the Lord, this Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever acharyas have given, he was really going for book distribution, especially in Europe. Right? They really take a big vans and they go for distribution. And at that point of time, like it was a completely snow blizzard, right? Like, it's very difficult to drive, but somehow they were driving and the vehicle got toppled and all the four wheels on the top and they were in the down. Right? And at that point of time, right, all the people who were kind of around, somehow they came upon to kind of rescue them. The ambulance came to rescue them. And do you know this devotee, along with, I think 3 more were there in that vehicle. They came out and they asked, do you have Bhagavad Gita with you? In Germany, they were asking, who came to rescue them, they were asking them, do you have Bhagavad Gita with you? No, everybody was asking what kind of people they are, right? They've just gone through such a kind of a fatal accident. They're not worried about their health. They're not thinking about anything else. And how they are thinking about how these people, they are suffering so much because they don't have these books, because they don't have the knowledge of the Lord. They are suffering so much. They are in a more suffering condition than I am. Yes, Srila Prabhupada says that, and at no point of time we think that this Maya is strong or the external forces are strong. It is not that. It is that our strength to practice the devotional service is not strong enough. Right? If we are taking shelter of the Lord, Devi Yesa Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratyaya, yes. And the Lord is saying, Mama Maya Duratyaya. It is very difficult to, conquer over this external energy of mine. But Mam Evaya Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Tarantite. But once you take shelter of me, you can conquer over all the external energies, all the so-called obstacles in our life. Right? Like once again, right? Because as a parent, right, I always relate to the parent and kids. One like kids having, let's say, next day is exam, right? What do you will think that if this kid wake up in the morning and he started kind of once again snoring and sleeping, what kind of this kid it is? अभी एग्जाम है फिर भी अभी snoring. You'll feel so pity, so compassionate, because the kid is not able to realize the importance of the exam. Similarly, our acharyas are saying, oh my God, what is he doing? At any point of time, he will get the final exam, and he's not at all prepared for it. Right? And that's what the devotees, they really go out to remind others that yes, especially during this month of December, we really, all the devotees, they put so much of effort in distributing this Bhagavad Gita or these books like Srimad Bhagavatam to remind that, yes, the crocodile is there at every step. Please take shelter of the Lord. Now, don't think that you are invincible. This is what we do, right? But before changing the whole world, we have to save ourselves. By taking shelter of these books. I would request all of you, right, to please take this Bhagavad Gita or this Srimad Bhagavatam, right, to your house, right, and please read it daily. Please read it sincerely, in the association of devotees, right, and share it with others. And one more story, right, I'll tell you. I just remembered that in Canada, Montreal, and some of our devotees, they were just going on a road and they realized that one vehicle has stopped and they were asking for some help. And they got down and they helped the persons whose car got broke down. And that was it, right? This person whose car got broke down, he was very thankful. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all your help. Right? Because the devotee means, they are helpful, right? Physically or whatever way they can help. So they really help. And finally, so not only the devotees helped who were there in the breakdown condition, but also they helped, they gave Bhagavad Gita to that gentleman. And in 1998, our devotees had gone to meet, at that point, the Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And when the devotees had gone to meet Mr. Vajpayee ji to inaugurate our Pathsarthi temple in East Kailash, Delhi, and he was very happy. He was saying that, do you know, at one point of time in 1977 or 78, when I was the External Affairs Minister, I was in Montreal and somehow my car got broke down and I didn't get any support, and the Sankirtan devotees, the devotees from ISKCON, helped me. And he was remembering that. And he said, definitely I'll come to the temple and I'll glorify you. You can still now hear his talk that he had given in Delhi. He glorifies so much about ISKCON or about Modi ji. But still, right, nowadays we hear that some people, they kind of talk so many things, right, especially in our neighboring countries. Why they are so much of against, talking about this ISKCON, because ISKCON is the only organization, we are not just kind of boasting of ourselves, but it's the only organization who is really spreading the love. Because we cannot, conquer this hate with hate, right? But how the devotees, they are spreading the love everywhere, right? You go to West, you go to Russia, you go to Ukraine. Now, what kind of devotees they are really, there is one devotee, right? I had seen, while I was there in Finland. It was in 2001. Like it was -50, -40, right? And the devotees there would be on the street, right? And with the tears in their eyes. There's so much of an ecstasy, not because it is too cold, right? If you stay kind of in any other way, you're all these, just like in the sunstroke you have, right? You really get your face gets really red, and you get really, so much of hot, right? Similarly, once you're walking, anybody has been in the snow condition, -20, -30, -40, right? You have been there? Yeah, yes. It's also very painful, very painful. You get the snow bites, right? And you really get, really all this blood get really frozen. And I will see that this devotee is so in so much of ecstasy distributing the books of Prabhupada. Right? And I saw that there was one person, right? He came, and he was really surprised. How come people are not coming out on the street? Because especially in the Scandinavian countries, this is the most gloomiest period. Especially, like this November to like this March, right? This 4 or 5 months, most gloomiest. There's the most number of suicide happens during this period of time. Because there's everywhere it is dark, right? Like you get hardly very few hours of sun during that time. And if there's no sun means, you get completely, so much gloomy. Because sun not only gives light, but also gives the warmth. Right? And that's what we really feel, right? And all this, they were really feeling, yes, this devotees, how this so much difficult conditions they go out and distribute books. Or nowadays also, forget about, in the West, even in India, places like in Delhi, where the pollution index is more than 400, right? The air pollution, still devotees are going out every day, distributing on the street, this Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because they have tested what is there in these books. Because just by reading these books, it can really save somebody's life. But by taking this holy name of the Lord, right, they can really awaken themselves from their dormant sleep. Okay, that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give us. That Jeev Jago, Gora Chanda Bole, Kato Nidra Jao Maya, Pisachira Kole. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that, oh, please wake up. Don't think that no problems will come to you. There is no crocodile anywhere. Right? Yes, everywhere there is a crocodile. It's just about to kind of, it's just opened the jaws about to devour you. Right? There is so much misery everywhere. But yes, that's why the devotees go out. Other devotees, they are happy, and otherwise in their own world, and performing their own sadhana, their own chanting, reading, hearing. Why they really go out and distribute books? Just so that others can get benefited. Tapyante loka tapena sadhava prayasa jana paramo aradhanam taddi purusasya khilatmana. When that, all of you know that Samudra Manthan pastime, Samudra Manthan, all the Daityas and Devatas, they came together to churn the ocean. At that point of time, what came first? Halahal poison. Halahal poison. And all the Devatas, they got really bewildered what to do now. And they really took shelter of Lord Shiva. And at that point, Mother Parvati asked, oh, Lord Shiva, what are you doing? You are drinking poison? Stop it, stop it. At that point in time, Lord Shiva chants this verse. What is this verse he is chanting? Yeah, the most important thing through which we can please the Supreme Lord, is by worshipping him. But better than that, once we take some voluntary austerities, take some difficulties, for the awakenment of the other living entities who are suffering so much. They take tapyanta loka tapena. They take some voluntary austerities so that others can get benefited. That is the most benevolent and the most beautiful thing that really Lord uh, pleases the most. That Lord gets pleased the most. So just last month only we were in Mayapur in Navadip Dham, and there used to be one devotee 500 years back. His name is Saranga Thakur. Just 2 days back we celebrated his disappearance day. Saranga Thakur, he was always absorbed in really worshipping his deity called Gopinath ji. He was very happy, offering bhoga to his Thakur ji, chanting his rounds. But at the same time, Mahaprabhu was thinking that, oh, Sarang Thakur, yes, I am very pleased with your worship, but I would really like you also to go and initiate disciples. I want you to share this knowledge of the holy name of this, the love of the scriptures, love of Krishna with everybody, right? So that this can be really carried forward, so that the people can really get liberated. Then Saranga Thakur, though he was reluctant, but just to please, Mahaprabhu, he said, okay, Mahaprabhu, I will start doing it from tomorrow. The first one I see next day morning, I will deliver him, I will initiate him. And he went to the Ganga to take bath. And as he was taking bath and doing this Gayatri, at that time he realized that one dead body was really passing by. And he remembered that, oh, I had yesterday told Mahaprabhu that first one that I meet in the day, I will initiate him. And what he did, he just took care of that body and he chanted the mantra. And lo and behold, that boy who was really dead, bitten by a snake, got alive. Right? And yes, it happened just 500 years back. And then this boy's parents, they came to know that this boy is alive, and they came back and said, oh, Thakur Mahasai, please give this back, our son. And the son, let's go back home. And the son said, oh yes, thank you for coming, but then you are my parents in my last life. In my life now, this Saranga Thakur Mahasai, he is my parents, he is my everything. Now I'm really following him. So now also, once you go to this Navadip, there is a place called Mamgachi. This Mamgachi, still we see, there is this Saranga Thakur's mandir is there. Yes, this is the glory of our acharyas, who really stretch in all the ways to deliver all the living entities. That's why this is the mood of Nityananda Prabhu, who is the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was saying that Prabhu ro agya bhai magiye bhiksha, bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna koro Krishna shiksha. He's saying that, oh, I'm begging all of you, please take this process of Krishna consciousness. Bolo Krishna, please chant Krishna. Bhajo Krishna, worship Krishna. Right? And Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. Like maybe in a couple of months we'll hear about Lord Nityananda, who is an incarnation of Lord Balaram. And it's the same Lord Balaram, who is all source of all strength. But then when he came in this age of Kali, he was going around and begging everybody, please take this holy name of the Lord. So yes, in this month of December, we really go out and somehow or other we beg, we request, we tell everybody, whoever we meet, please take this message of Bhagavad Gita. Please take this chanting of the holy name. Please, come to this satsang. Now, because the goal of our life, the supreme perfection of our life, is just hearing and chanting the association of devotees. Yes, it's not about just distributing books or receiving a book. It's about receiving it and sharing it and reading it, understanding it in the association of devotees. Okay, any other questions, comments? I know we're running out of time. Any thoughts? Makes sense, doesn't make sense, whatever we discussed? Okay, let me tell you one more story before we. This is a story from Russia. So there was one major, in the military. There was this major, and somehow he came to know that, right? Somehow in his battalion, there were some people who have started practicing some Eastern philosophy, and he said that, okay, let me find out who are they. Let me try to understand also what is all about. And then this person, somehow he came to know that these are the couple of people who have been trying to understand this Eastern philosophy, this Indian scriptures. He called them. And then he said, please tell me, what you have learnt. And they told about, oh, we have really learned from Bhagavad Gita, from Srimad Bhagavatam, like how Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and how we can take shelter of Him by chanting the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Right? And we all know that just by reading this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Then I said, okay, can you give it to me, this book? And these are the devotees of the Lord, and especially our devotees. They just, then I said, okay, why not? We have this Bhagavad Gita and want to give it to you. They offered this book to him. At the same time, usually you also don't give the book free of cost. Because if whatever you take free, you don't realize the value out of it. You don't realize the value. So that's how he said, okay, you give also some donation. And this major, he accepted the donation. He offered some donation to these devotees, and he really took it. And then, what happened? Next day morning, this soldiers, they met the major and they asked, have you read this book? He said, no, I have just kept it. Definitely I'll read it tomorrow. And the next day, once again, the soldiers asked once again, have you read this book? Have you started reading it? No, not yet, I'll read it. And this major was thinking, these people, they gave this book, but they are not living, whether have I read it or not. So, okay, let me do one thing. Let me only just read the translation of this book. And I will say that, oh, I have read it, I completed it. And next day, somehow or other, he just started reading only the translation. He said, oh, I'll read it. But, and just the day after, in the night, he got a dream. What he got the dream? He realized that the author of the book, Srila Prabhupada, came in his dream. Right? And he is asking, I'm very happy that you have started reading this Bhagavad Gita. But I would recommend that you also read the purports also. And this major, he got really completely shocked. He was thinking that, oh, I'll just take this book. I thought all my battalion soldiers, they will be happy. They made me read, not only read, but also you have to understand the commentary also, the purport also. Right? Without reading, understanding the mood of the acharyas, we cannot take shelter. Right? And then this major became an initiated devotee, and his name, he was reinitiated as Achala Das, and he became a devotee of the Lord. And this is the power of these books. This is the power that it can really transform anybody. Yes. Yes. Okay. Maybe final one. There is so much to share. I just remembered one more. I might have already told this also a couple of times. Once again, it is the story of during World War II. Because I was staying in Munich, Germany, sometime, and I'd been to a place called Dachau. This just maybe just half an hour from Munich. It used to be concentration camp. Where the Hitler used to bring the Jews and he used to really, kill them in the gas chambers. And there we heard the story that how all these Nazis, they used to bring all the Jews and they used to put them in gas chambers, or otherwise they used to put them in the vans, open vans without any shelter, and made them suffer in this snow frost bites. Like as we talked about, -20, -30, -40, they would put in open, right? Without feeding them, without making anything to drink, they would suffer them like hell. And there was this person, right? A group of people who were there in that van, and they realized that among them there was one elderly person. It was very respectable, it was very honorable person, and they could not, um, realize, how why this person is so suffering. And there was one gentleman was there, young man was there. He went to him and he kind of just grabbed him. He really embraced him. He was really massaging all his hand, leg, body, just to keep him alive, right? And this night came. It was once again a chilling cold, right? And the next day morning, what he realized, all the members in that van are dead except two persons. Who? This young boy and the dead person. That's only the old person. Why? The old person was alive because this young man was taking care of him, embracing and really massaging him, keeping his body warm. And this young boy also got survived because he was embracing, he was taking care, he was massaging, he was keeping his body active. Right? What is the lesson that we can really learn? In this, this lake of suffering, in this Bhavasagar, we want to survive, we want to serve others. If we just keep ourselves also, right, we cannot survive. Right? Yes, there are bound to be so much of difficulties. These are unavoidable. The difficulties will come. But then once you start taking care of others, because we are getting so much of anxiety because we are so much absorbed with ourselves. Our problems, my problem, my need, my this, my that. That's why I get so much of anxiety. Once I start thinking about others, and how people will delivered by chanting this holy name of the Lord, by taking this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, right? Not only they get delivered, this also through which I can also survive myself. So it is very important that all of us, yes, we are starting our Krishna conscious journey. At the same time, it is very important that we start taking care of others. It's no need that we have to give a class like, what do we hear? It's not required. What is really important? We just say that, oh, take this book, start reading it. And if you have questions, please come to this center. The most important thing that we need to understand, we really learn and grow by coming in the association of devotees. And that's the reason we have kind of, have something called Bhakti Vriksha system. Bhakti Vriksha system, where there is a senior leader, there is a senior mentor, there is a senior Grihastha family is there, where he is taking care of a couple of families, where they are good friends, where they are good mentors, with whom we share our, joys and sorrows, right? Through whom we can really, come together. So every weekend we come together. Every weekend, every Saturday or Friday evening, we come together, we study something, we chant something, we do kirtan, we do some kind of programs, right? And that's what exactly, it really makes us alive. Yes, we practice and we make others also practice. So I would request all of you to please join this our regular programs that we are having. So yes, we have done a couple of sessions over the last 2-3 months, but yes, we have not only even scratched the surface of this whole ocean of the devotional scriptures that we have. We have a long way to go, But they say, right, if you want to go fast, you have to go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to go together. So yes, the devotees are there together, and devotees are there to help us. But it's really up to us. Are we willing to take shelter of the Lord? Are we willing to take shelter of our acharyas or the devotees who are there to help us? And once we receive it, we imbibe it and we share it. This is the sum and substance of our movement. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Satyajivan Prabhu, anything you would like to share about?